Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Erica and you are at the Lopsided Crafter. Grab yourself something to drink, sit back for a spell, and let's talk about all of our yarny goodness and creation. Hi guys, and welcome. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Erica and I am the crochet designer, knit designer, and indie yarn dyer behind the Lopsided Crafter. I want to welcome you to this broadcast. Today we are live on our Facebook page. You can find me on all the socials as the Lopsided Crafter. If you are watching this live, I have put in the description box above a link that you will need to click for StreamYard in order to show me your comments. If you are watching this on YouTube later, hello, welcome, and thank you so much for stopping by. So, what have I been up to? Well, yesterday I went live here on my Facebook page and I showed you a few of the items that we have recently added to our shop. Today I wanted to go a little bit further, show you some of my works in progress, go a little bit further on one of the colorways. If you had a chance to look at my page earlier here on Facebook, you may have seen the post that I did about a test pattern that I did. I just wanted to come on here and show you guys a little bit more live, if you will, drape, that kind of thing. Sometimes it's hard to see things from a picture, and it's a lot easier to show them and talk about them in a video. So let's get started. So it says that I have a low signal, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, so I posted about this yarn. It is called Cloudy with a Chance of Rainbows. It is a beautiful kind of darkish gray with little pops of a rainbow. And I had the honor of testing a pattern out for Nitty Natty. I'm sure everybody knows who she is. She has a huge following here on Facebook, on Instagram, and YouTube. But she designed this cowl. This is called the Playtime Cowl. It is a beautiful pattern with these crisscrosses. There's two different types of pattern. You can do the long loop, which is what I did, or you can do a single loop, which is a little bit more form fitting to your neck. All depends on your preference, where you live, that kind of thing. I'm not a huge fan of things tight around my neck, so I did choose to do the long loop. But this is how it turned out using my yarn. I think that is absolutely gorgeous, the way that the colors just kind of pop on the crisscrosses. Isn't that pretty? I love it. Absolutely love how this turned out. It is in a fingering weight, 75-25. It's warm, it's beautiful, and it's not very heavy, which I really, really like that. Some other things that I've been working on. In the Love and Stitches membership, which is a group I am in, we are currently working on a crochet garment cowl. And I decided that I wanted to do the hexagon cardie, but I didn't want to do it in a yarn that was really, really heavy. So I'm actually doing mine with a fingering weight. This is what I have so far. So, you do your hexagon and then you kind of fold it and it creates one side in your sleeve. So, you have to do two of them. I'm actually using yarn from Arkansas Yarn Company for this. This is part of her Sock Yarn Society um, monthly subscription box. And this was her January colorway. It's so pretty. It's lightweight. Living down here in the South, sometimes in the evenings, it's a little somewhat chilly, not very chilly at times. But I didn't want something very, very heavy. I wanted a light cardigan, maybe even for like when you go into a restaurant and they've got the air on and you get cold, that kind of thing. I seem to get cold very easily now that I'm aging. So that's another thing that I've been working on. I'm kind of doing my own pattern for this, so I don't have a link to show or share for that. But I will make sure that I share Lori's information. Something else that I started, and I am using a Knitter's Pride Carbons needle for this. It is a US 5 3.75 millimeter. This is the Starflake Shaw by Stephen West. So I do have a little bit done. I've got all the, the geometric part of it. And now I'll start working on the chevron part. This is also in my yarn. Sorry about that. This is Mach 1, and this is SRT 8. I named those after my son's vehicles. My oldest son has a Mach 1 Mustang, which is kind of this blue color. And then my middle son has a Chrysler 300 SRT 8, which is kind of this color. So I kind of named them after them. These are kind of one of a kind colorways that I just kind of dyed up to do this project. That's something else that I'm working on. And this is living in my JoJo bag, which is JoJo Bags by Jody on Etsy. This is the mother of the Cozy Up Knit Girls, which I'm sure everybody knows who they are as well. Something else I've been working on, and I got this bag from a local yarn store, but unfortunately, it doesn't say who made it. I love the little captions there. So in this, also in the membership, the 11 Stitches membership, we have been working on a new technique, and this month it is Brioche. Y'all, I was cruising right along, doing what I was supposed to. And I mean, it doesn't look bad. This is my first brioche. Kind of hard to tell in this yarn. So I might redo it and start with another color. I don't know. But if you are an avid knitter, you know that when you make a mistake, your first instinct is to tink, which means knit back if you're not a knitter. And that's what I did. Unfortunately, with the brioche technique and all the yarn overs and stuff that you have to do and the slip stitches that you have to do at the same time, your normal tinking back is not a great method. So by doing that, I ended up losing stitches. I was kind of upset. It is what it is, right? So I kind of, like I said, I got frustrated. It got shoved into the bag. It may or may not have went flying across the room. But, well, um, I was scared to do brioche. I've actually learned quite a bit. I did purchase the Stephen West has a workshop on brioche. He has one on shawl knit designs, brioche color blocking, or maybe it's slip stitches, and color blocking's coming out next month. Either way, he has some very affordable workshops that I highly recommend. Highly recommend. So I was able to watch his tutorials and figure out how to actually do the brioche stitch. I think, though, because I am such a loose knitter, that it's kind of, and obviously, I don't have enough built up yet, but I'm such a loose knitter that it's kind of hard to actually see the brioche stitches. I could be wrong. I think that I may restart this and go down a size needle. This is using 100% cotton, Pima cotton, super soft, wonderful drape, very stretchy. So, I mean, I really like the fabric, but I don't think that it is good for this technique. Pardon me. I'm getting over a very nasty upper respiratory infection due to my allergies. So a while back, I showed you guys my project journal. And I'm just curious if anybody else does one, what you put in it, that kind of thing. Right now, it is a hardback book that I bought on Amazon. It is no lined, which I think I might end up getting a lined one later because I think that it'll be a little bit easier because I'm one of those ADHD, OCD. If it's not straight, it's going to drive me crazy. So I probably should have got the lined one. But I have in here just that it's my knit and crochet projects and designs for 2022. And I've been slacking on it. I'll be honest with you. The only thing I have in it so far are the socks that I made for my son. So what I have done is just included what I named the sock, when I started it, finished it, the patterns that I used, where I got it from, the yarn, how much yarn and needle that I actually used. And then I wrote down right here so I could come back if I decide I want to make my son another pair of socks with this particular pattern. I know exactly how many rows that I used for the foot, the heel, that kind of thing. And then I use my little HP sprocket to take a picture and put it here in my notebook. So, I'm really enjoying the HP sprocket. Again, like I said, I've kind of been slack, so I need to add some of my projects in here that I've been doing. But I think this is a great way to go back and look at the things that you've done over the years, how you've improved, or you may have an idea like, okay, you're walking down the road and you see something, some geometric shape, and you jot that down and think, oh my gosh, that would be a perfect shape or additive to a shawl. So then you go back to your little notebook in here when you're, brain stuck or whatever, and you think, I can work on that design. I can go back and work on another pair of socks, Or maybe you found a WIP that you sat down and it got buried somehow. And if you're taking notes, then you can go in here and look and say, oh, okay, I know what that is, and I know what I've got to do to finish it and or make it better. So I really like the notebook. I need to, get more consistent with it though. This is a paper pack that I used. It was called Getting Crafty with Your Gnomies. It has different gnomes with knitting and crocheting and all kinds of crafty related. I did take Mod Podge and kind of sealed it. And then I made it to where I could still open it and it wouldn't be so tight. And then I'd made these little slits here in the back so that I could still use the elastic that came with the book, because that part was very important to me. I wanted to make sure that I could keep it closed as long as possible. Now, of course, when I start adding more things to the notebook, like I had, the little scrap of yarn, and I'm using the I'm going to use the yarn labels also to put it there. So yeah, that is all I really got right now. If you guys are watching on Facebook, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're watching on YouTube, y'all know the drill. All the stuff will be down below. And if you like what you've seen, please comment, like, subscribe, all the good YouTubey things. And if you're on Facebook, thank you so much again for stopping by. And until next time, happy knitting, happy crocheting, and happy looming. Bye.